Hey guys, so step number two, not necessarily step number two, but it seems to be an easy progression from breathing to feeling. Now this can be a little challenging for some of you. I know it was challenging for myself to start with, because I had so much backlog feelings that I hadn't finished feeling. So when I was feeling into my body and into my heart space, it didn't feel good, because I had all these feelings I had stopped, I had not acknowledged, I had pushed aside, that I didn't want to feel, whether it was shame, guilt, anger, frustration, even love. I was pushing away feeling too much love for people because I assumed it wasn't wanted, it wasn't desired, that me feeling love for somebody was too much. So I had shut myself down in many, many ways. So when I started opening up my heart space, my feelings, a lot of that came out, like from random bouts of extreme joy to crying to being extremely angry and frustrated, not all at the same time, but every time I was going into that space, or like being into the zero space in the now moment and feeling, I was just like, whoa, where did this emotion come from? Where did this emotion come from? And it was a little bit challenging at first, because I was like, oh my God, I feel so angry at this person right now, at this situation, and not to go and yell at that person. And just allow that emotion to come up and know that you don't have to do anything. You just have to feel it and then bring love to it. Allow that emotion to express itself fully within yourself. And it's not going to stay forever. It will peter itself out. There's a biological process that's going on with the chemicals from these emotions. You often get that when you're getting body work done, like massage or tissue tension release, where when you're relaxing, these trapped chemicals from these emotions, the neurotransmitters, are getting released back into the bloodstream. And that's partially why something gets released. You feel an emotion that you hadn't thought about in years. An event pops into your mind. You're like, whoa, I hadn't felt that. Like, I'd forgotten about that. I thought that was past, but it was still stuck in your body. That's why it's important to know breathing, allowing the feeling to happen, and then being able to bring love to it, because that then alchemizes, that allows that emotions to be seen, acknowledged, and then you can move through it and move on. It's like cleaning out a cupboard where you have, a row of things, and then when you move the front one, like in the grocery store, the next one goes forward. And then you have to move this one, and the next one goes forward, but you actually have to allow the ones to come forward. You can't say, I want the fourth one in the back. I don't want all these three emotions ahead of time. You gotta allow these emotions to be felt, to come through, to be alchemized, to be seen. Then they can be removed. They can be, returned to the ether, to the zero space, to the matrix, whatever you want to call it. And then the next emotion comes up. Now, if you're regularly checking in with yourself, how you're feeling, you don't have that backlog, because you've done the work. Well, that's not work, but you've done the feelings. You've experienced the feelings. And then as you're experiencing them, you're letting them through, you're letting them out, they finish their cycle and then they dissolve. And this is why it's important to take the time to feel. And yes, it can be hard when you have a lot of backlog, a lot of time that you didn't feel. I have about 20 plus years of that. But when you do create that space where you're making room for new emotions to come up, you can feel that happiness, that excitement. And for me, at first, I didn't notice I was feeling happy and excited until someone else pointed out, "You're smiling right now." My mind didn't think I was smiling, but my body was smiling. And I was like, oh, whatever's going on, part of me is actually happy about this. I am going to have to start telling people that just because I'm smiling doesn't mean it's reflecting of what you're going through. This is my inner world coming out. I ran into that the other day. Someone was like, yeah, they were telling something about some horrific thing and you were smiling over there in the corner. And I was just like, I was having a really great inner experience in the moment. I was ecstatic. I wasn't reflecting what was going on in my outer world. So, that may happen. I guess I'm just going to start saying, it's like, I'm having an amazing inner world experience, so don't worry about my facial expression. I'm just happy over here. And that was one of the things that actually helped me knowing when I'm in my zero space, is because of my facial expression. Because I'm smiling. I'm not forcing a smile. My body's smiling for me because it's happy. And my mind is now registering because it's actually paying attention to this now moment, to this feeling of, oh, we're actually like happy and we're excited. And it's not about what's going on outside. It's snowing right now. It's cold. That's why I'm wearing a hat and a big sweater, because it's, we're in the middle of winter for us here. But it doesn't matter, because I am extremely happy to be here, to be sharing some of the stuff with you guys, to be sharing it with myself, to be acknowledging that this is the greatest now moment ever. And actually feeling that in me. So even if it's hard, and for some of you, you're just going to go into it's like a slide. You're just going to go slide through everything and end up in this amazing, blissful happiness state. And for some of you, it's going to be a little more challenging, because you do have to let those go. You have to let the events that those feelings were triggered by, you have to let them go. You have to decide that they are not holding power over you in this now moment. That whatever has happened in the past can stay in the past. That you can finish that cycle of that experience through feeling the emotion, through bringing your love to it. And even if you just need to hug it, or whatever you want to visualize it or thank it for that experience. I had that happen to me the other day. I had this insight come up that it's like all the feelings have a space at a table, at my table, in my heart. Every feeling has a space. And when that space is filled with all the feelings, that combination is like light and color. So when light hits a prism and it creates those rainbows, it's like those individual feelings are the rainbow colors, but they all come from love, from that bright light. And that's what I feel like, or that epiphany came to me, is that table, that space, needs all those feelings in it for the light, the love to be complete. And some of you think fear is the opposite of love. It isn't. Fear is part of love, because the fear is there to protect you out of love, to warn you, hey, there might be something there that could be inconvenient or dangerous to you, you may not want to go there. And we've just perceived it differently and in ways that we've got stuck on that cycle of that warning system. So we can bring it all back to love. And then after that epiphany, I actually went deeply into those experiences in my life. It's like, when did I experience fear? When did I experience terror? When did I experience gratitude? When did I experience blissfulness? When did I experience just happiness, joy, pleasure, all those different forms, hesitation, frustration, anger, like all those different feelings? It was almost like I was collecting puzzle pieces. And I was bringing them together, and as I collected more and more puzzle pieces, I felt my love expand more and more, because then it felt complete. And this doesn't have to resonate with everybody. It's just, this was helpful for me. So this is why I'm sharing, because it will resonate with some of you. But this is your next step, or your next form of exploration after, the breathing, the feeling. And then after the feeling is the body. So we're going to do that in part 3. So see you again soon. Bye for now.